Hello, my friends. Welcome to our call-in program. Must be Thursday night. It's 7:05 here in Texas, America, and we are rolling live. If you want to be part of the program, it's very simple, and we have really simple rules, so I'll just go over them up front. The first thing is you've got to be a member over on either Locals. You could be a subscriber on YouTube, or you could be a subscriber over on X. Those are the rules. You'll find them in the members only section of all those areas. You'll find the phone number. It starts with 972. Got a new shirt from some of you, so I'll just cover this right up front. We have a P.O. box. If you guys want to send me something, I don't know why people want to send me stuff, but you do. Or if you want to send me something like a postcard, or if you want to send me a letter, I'm happy to receive those. It's really nice to get it. Fun kind of times to go visit the post office box and see what you guys have to say. For some of you that don't want to do email, it's 9073 West State Highway 29. It is Suite 110, box 509, and that is in Liberty Hill, Texas, 78642. Now, the rule is we've got our first caller on the line, and caller, the deal goes like this. You have to tell me who you are. You have to tell me where you are a subscriber, and you got to tell me where you are in the world, and then we'll get started with 10 minutes on the clock per caller, unless someone votes for 5 more. So, who am I talking to? Where are you from, and where do you subscribe? Oh, no. Why is it not connected? Stand by. You can hear me, and I can't hear you because... Hold on. This silly phone. All right, stand by. Can you hear me now? What is the deal? This is what happens when we do this stuff. I tried to connect the phone early, folks, and now I'm left in the lurch. Can you hear me now? 1, 2, 3. We'll troubleshoot this. We'll get it done. Let me move to this, and then we move back to this. How about now? Caller, are you on the line? Can you hear me?
I can hear you.
Oh, there we go. Fantastic. All right. Who am I talking to? Where are you at? And where do you subscribe? Sorry about that.
This is Chris. I'm from the nanny state, California 2.0, the land of 10,000 lakes. Yes, Dan, we have more lakes than you. The Gopher State, the state of hockey in communist Minnesota. And I subscribe on Locals and YouTube.
Oh, overachiever. Chris, how you doing tonight? Am I wearing your shirt? Is this where this came from?
I didn't see the video yet, so I don't know what shirt you're wearing. What shirt are you wearing?
I've got a blue T-shirt that has a message about certain people that made certain actions about themselves. Are you responsible?
Yep. That's me.
All right, so let me just show it to people here. There it is. It says Epstein didn't kill himself. It's a size medium, so it's quite form-fitting for me. What's on your mind tonight?
Well, I guess first thing I wanted to know, have you ever been to Minnesota?
I want to say yes, but I've spent more time in Wisconsin, so I don't think I've done a lot in Minnesota. If it was right on the outskirts. Like right on the edge of Wisconsin, maybe like Dell's area kind of thing, and on the other side.
Sure. So that makes one of the good reasons to live in Minnesota then. Our bodies of water are now safe from your pee.
Oh, good. What does that mean?
I don't know.
You mean I'm not going to swim in your lakes and pee in it? I still could pee in your lakes from here.
Yeah.
I try not to pee in lakes. I only pee in
bad.
pools, whatever it's worth. I'm a pool peer, but not a lake peer. Isn't that weird?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Sure. So I know we have a time limit now, which brings me to kind of a funny story because so when I started going to city council meetings, when I first started going, we had a different mayor.
Mm-hmm.
And when that mayor was in, there was no time limits on anything. You could get up, you could talk all you wanted, right?
Mm-hmm.
Then we got a new mayor who actually happens to be my neighbor.
Okay.
And he decided to put in a 2-minute time limit, right?
Yeah, I like that.
So, so there's this 2-minute time limit, right? And I would always go over, right? Because at one of the reasons why I was going, they were doing this road project on my road, and they wanted to do like massive over what they needed to do. They wanted to put in sidewalks. They wanted to put in sewer and everything. And I have a ditch. Like all my neighbors have ditches.
Right.
We don't need a sidewalk. There's no sidewalk anywhere close to me. So the sidewalk would go nowhere.
But yeah, where would people rollerblade though? How would they rollerblade?
Down the road?
Okay.
Do you really want to feel all the cracks?
Yeah, okay. So
in the sidewalk? No. So I went and I protested that, and I petitioned and got everyone on my neighborhood to sign my petition, and they ended up not doing most of it. They still put in sewer.
Okay.
But anyhow, this current mayor put in this 2-minute time limit, right? So after the project got done, and they kept on shutting off my mic and stuff, right? So I went one time to protest the 2-minute time limit.
Okay.
And I brought my own microphone. So they could shut off their microphone, and I had my own. So I just kept on talking until they drugged me out of there. Eventually they drugged me out of there. But it's like, they talk about how they're all for free speech and they're all for hearing the people. They work for the people. That's their motto here. But the minute we get up and talk, they're like, you got 2 minutes and that's it. Then we don't want to hear you anymore.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, what's the point? It's not like anyone gets up here and speaks for hours. They get up here and they might speak 10 minutes. So what? You know? So.
And they work for you in theory, right?
Very well.
They're supposed
to. They work for us. Exactly.
Yeah, that seems reasonable. Tell me the background on these shirts. Yeah. You found 2 shirts and you sent them to me. You want to tell people what you sent? Because they're pretty funny.
So I sent you Uncle Tom's cabin.
Ted's.
Uncle Ted's cabin, my bad. And Epstein didn't kill himself.
Epstein. Yeah, I
don't know. I went looking for.
I've never heard of this company.
The cabin one first.
Yeah, this is.
I haven't either. I typed it in, and they're like the first one to pop up. There was a couple other ones, and I looked at the other ones, but I was looking through their website. I'm like, well, they got some really interesting shirts. So I'm like, I seen the Epstein one. I'm like, that's Kyle right there. Got to send that to him too.
It's pretty funny. It actually says Bohemian Grove Co. And my wife read it and she said Bohemian Grove, Colorado. Where's that? And I go, oh, I thought it was a company. I was like, I'm pretty sure it's the name of the company that makes it. I didn't think it was in Colorado, but what do I know? Expanded my eyes a little bit. So maybe I'll be advertising for a place in Colorado that doesn't exist too.
Right. There you go.
It caught me off guard.
Right.
Yeah, well, I'll wear it to the gym and freak people out a little bit. I'll be jogging, looking kind of militant with pretty short shorts on and thickish legs with a shirt that says Epstein didn't kill himself, and let the Indian H-1B visa wives look at me and wonder what the hell this guy's doing in the middle of the day with this kind of rhetoric on his shirt. So that's good.
Right, that's good. So before I left work, I saw some news headline that Kash Patel fired 3 people at the FBI.
I think it's more than that, yeah.
So what is your take on that?
Can I read you a text message I just got? It's most of my take, so I'll just share it with you. Ready?
Okay.
Kyle just had another phone call. The person said, Kyle Seraphin might as well be the FBI director since he's dictating FBI priorities and setting de facto policies.
There you go.
Yeah. So the person that the people they got rid of is Brian Driscoll, who was the acting director when Kash took over. They got rid of Steven Jensen, the J6 warlord, who was running the ADIC position, which is the top position of the Washington field office, and was the office I used to work out of. So he was the top guy there. And he was the one that was in charge of what's called DTOS, the Domestic Terrorism Operations Section, which is the people that decided that J6ers were terrorists. So he's out. And then also this guy named Walter Gardina, who was one of the people on the arresting the team that took down Peter Navarro. So that happened. And I guess they may or may not have gotten rid of this guy named Chris Meyer, who's the pilot that is flying the jet, but he was previously the case agent on the case that resulted in the search warrant at Mar-a-Lago. And there's some other kind of rumblings that a guy named Spencer Evans, who I've called out, may have been fired as well. And there may be as many 100 other FBI executives that have been on the list. Whether or not they've been removed yet, I guess we'll find out. But yeah, we had a little bit of fun. All of this resulted from a phone call I made on Friday to a Trump administration official. And when I was talking to him or her, shared some information that needed to be done. And then that's when this thread that I pushed out on Monday showing the pilot was in fact the previous case agent. And we got 3 million impressions. And from my buddies, apparently Kash Patel and Dan Bongino just live on X. They just read X all day. And so if I'm punching them in the face, they get hit because they're there.
So they're not turning the ship around. You're turning the ship around.
Hey, man, you heard it here first.
I mean, right?
One of my buddies sent me a message that just said the suspendables are now in complete control.
Well, we're in good hands now.
I mean, what a ridiculous time to be alive. I told my wife this and we were just cracking up. It's like, what on earth is going on here? And why is that even a possibility that these guys care what I think? But, you know, you embarrass these guys and they start acting like the way they're supposed to. So I spent about 3.5 hours today on InfoWars talking to Alex Jones and Owen Schroyer about it as well.
That's awesome. It's a good thing.
Not mad about it. So now you're caught up. What do you think? What else is going on in there? Is there anything else interesting happening in Minnesota specifically that we should know about? I think my folks are up that way. I think they said that they were tripsing around. I know they were in Wisconsin for a couple of days and they're bouncing around in Minnesota and Michigan. I don't know what they're doing a big trip for, but I think they're visiting friends in the area.
Just the normal fraud.
Just the normal.
I mean, that's why we get the name Nanny State.
Yeah,
so
actually,
that's one of our names.
I do have an update for you.
And
go ahead.
So where Nanny State comes from. So I don't know if this is still the case because everything is online now. But at one time, we would get busloads of people from Chicago to come and get a Minnesota welfare check. Because in Minnesota, you didn't have to prove it.
Interesting.
That you were a Minnesota resident. So we get busloads from Chicago.
Unreal.
And then, of course, we have Feeding Our Futures, right?
Yes, I remember that.
Whole fraud thing.
And that's ongoing.
You know, so, yep.
Well, I'll tell you one piece of good news. There's a guy named Walker Anderson, who I think I've covered his story at least on the podcast once or twice. But it was a court case that happened in Minnesota. I was talking to Shane Minklin, who's a local rep there in the state house, and we talked about
what's the name?
His name is Walker Anderson.
Shane what?
Oh, Shane Minklin.
He's my rep.
Okay. Well, Shane and I talk fairly frequently, off and on, and he was fighting this battle on behalf of a guy named Walker Anderson. Walker was arrested and accused of possessing a firearm without a serial number because he built his own gun. And what they did through numerous cases, they had to prove essentially that the state of Minnesota has sold off evidence guns, right? And sold off old guns that were pre-serial number. So like old Sears shotguns from the 60s and before that and so on that they had in their inventory, sold these things off. So the state was actually in possession or was actually selling off guns to people that didn't have serial numbers. So going after and prosecuting anybody for having a gun that wasn't required to have a serial number is insane. So you can go after them for having an obliterated serial number if it was supposed to have one, but you can't go after somebody for having a gun without one. And your Supreme Court just agreed and remanded it back down. So even though his case has been pending
I'm really surprised about because our Supreme Court makeup here in Minnesota.
Super liberal.
But it's our state votes the way it does, majority on the metro area and Duluth. That's primarily it. The rest of the state, I mean, most of the other counties are 60-30, 60% Republican, typically. Some are higher than that. But yeah.
Well, that's some good news. I don't know if it means anything other than like one guy is going to be in better shape. There were a couple other cases that were pending. Sounds like there were at least 3 of those going on in Minnesota, but that's the only good news I had for you on the Minnesota front. I'll give you a final word, and then we'll see if anybody else wants to jump in the line here. Even if you're not a fan of the limits, it keeps the conversation diverse. And then next time you bring your own microphone.
Yeah, I will. I will.
I
It's
it.
funny. My microphone, it was actually my daughter's.
Yeah,
it's
that
like
sounds
one
right.
of those toy microphones that has a speaker thing on it. Yeah, it was hers.
Yeah, I would do the same thing.
I'll show up with this pink Bezazzle microphone.
That's how you do it.
Yeah, it was cool. Well, I'll wish you a good night. I'm gonna go rollerblading with my daughter. And
Perfect. Watch out for the cracks in the road. I appreciate the T-shirt, and I'm sporting it right now. When you see the video, you'll see it.
Okay, wonderful.
Thank you, sir.
Good night.
Have a great one.
Bye.
All right, so that's how you do it, folks. You got to tell me where you're from, where you subscribe, and what your name is, because I don't save these. I really keep them all off the list on purpose. I actually do not show the. I do not keep any names, and if you guys tell me what it is, I don't save it on any kind of paperwork, or I don't save it into the phone here, because I always figured one day maybe the Bureau would come and try to take my phone. I don't need all your names on there associated with your phone numbers. They can look it up on their own. They can figure it out. Also, we delete these phone numbers every month, so they're only going to be able to grab it so much time. So that's the story. The line is open. We got caller number 2 coming on in. So I will pull them on right now, and tell me who you are, and where you subscribe, if you don't mind. Number 2.
What's up, Kyle? It's Tech Penis. I'm calling from Bernie, Texas. I subscribe on, for some reason, it's pretty weird. X, Rumble, obviously, Locals too, and it's like, I don't even like you that much to have 3 subscriptions. I don't even know how that happened.
Yeah, I don't like you that much either. What are you doing? What do you got going on there?
All right. I'm just that board. No.
I heard rumors that you might have some updates on the snapping turtle front, Mr. Penis.
Yes. Ordered the snapping turtle. It's going to be coming next Tuesday. It's hilarious because it was actually like super affordable price, right? And so when I went to buy it, they're like, "Hey, we've got some available now." You know, the little hatchlings. I ended up getting a discount, and I'm like, "This is even more proof this is an awesome idea, right?"
What does a snapping turtle hatchling go for? Give us an idea.
Honestly, some of them go for quite a bit. If you get the common snapping turtle, because that one's like, at least here in Texas, where people have balls, people can have them no problem. Alligators, those are the only ones that are like highly regulated everywhere. But common ones, man, they can go from like 65 to like 80 or sometimes even more, depending on if you get into those freaking different colors and everything like that. But it was just like 40 some bucks for just, it's a tiny little freaking thing that you got to feed, for long periods of times. And over the years, it'll grow up pretty stinking big. But anyway, they're relatively cheap, and it's from like a very good place, like a reputable, source. So I was super excited about that. And
a reputable snapping turtle breeder.
Yes.
A legit herpetologist.
Yes, dude, you should see like all the different, they have more stuff besides snapping turtles. They have like all kinds of other, non-turtle things they sell, but they've got some weird ones, man. Like the 2-headed ones, like albino ones, these freaking cinnamon ones. I'm just like, okay, just give me a common one.
I just want a cinnamon snapping turtle. What's so wrong with that? I just want to have a reputable breeder provide me with a cinnamon snapping turtle.
Because you could get so many ARs for the price of one of those. I'm like, no,
really?
No. Yes, dude, it's retarded. Like, I mean, it's fine if you've got the money and you got like, sweet, I want a 2-headed albino snapping turtle. Go ahead.
Made of cinnamon. I want the somehow you said cinnamon. I want something to do with the cinnamon.
Yeah, they have cinnamon ones.
The cinnamon ones.
These ones that look like just a light brown color. It's so funny.
All right, can any of them do martial arts? Because that would actually be something worth paying a little bit more for.
It's hilarious. I saw this one video that my friend sent me. this person was holding this little turtle up right above, like, you know, the table or whatever. And it was like touching its feet down, alternating like it was dancing. It was freaking hilarious.
Throwing some high kicks.
But yeah, it was pretty funny. But
I like that.
did I already tell you the name of it?
You have not?
Okay.
Should I be, hold on. Should I be concerned? You know, let me sit down.
I don't know. I don't think so.
All right, I'm sitting down.
It's funny though, and it takes some context.
Okay.
I'm naming it Syrup. So SYRUP.
Yeah.
And it's because there was this one hilarious anime that I was watching a while ago. It's like these one characters like play this one VR game, and they do all this stuff in this anime world. And the funniest thing about it is this one player's character falls backwards into just this ridiculous amount of power. And like the developers, you see like them talking to each other, like, what the crap? We got to do something to nerf this player. And every time they do something, it backfires. And so this player just gets like stupid powerful. But one thing that they ended up finding like early on was this one little turtle. And the character's name is Maple, and she named the turtle Syrup. So the turtle ends up growing up into this gigantic, freaking ultra powerful turtle, and it has a spirit cannon like a gigantic nuclear blast. It's just so stinking funny. I immediately thought of that. I don't know. Something's wrong with me probably, but it's still funny.
There's certainly something wrong with you. But what that thing is another question. I've actually got something for you in that vein. This is what I want you to say, because you went to a reputable breeder, if I heard you correctly. And is it being shipped? Does it get shipped to you? Is that what happens? It gets shipped to you somehow? I'm
getting it on Tuesday because they ship it Monday and it overnight.
They're going to overnight you a turtle in the mail. Okay. Yep. And from a reputable breeder. So here's what I want you to be able to say about the turtle, not about the, if anybody asks about it.
What the fuck you talking about, man? The carrier. What's in the fucking carrier?
Huh? Oh, Cynthia's dog. I think it's a Pomeranian. I can't leave him home alone or he eats the furniture. I'm watching it while Cynthia and Marty Ackerman are in Hawaii.
You brought a fucking Pomeranian bowling?
Brought it bowling. I didn't rent its shoes. I'm not buying it a fucking beer. He's not taking your fucking turn, dude.
Man, if my fucking ex-wife asked me to take care of her fucking dog while she and her boyfriend went to Honolulu, I'd tell her to go fuck herself. Why can't you board it?
First of all, dude, you don't have an ex. Secondly, this is a fucking show dog with fucking papers. You can't board it. It gets upset. Hey, its hair falls out.
Walter.
Fucking dog has fucking papers. Over the line!
I want you to tell people that your turtle has papers. Your effing turtle has effing papers. Can you do that?
Yeah. Yes, my turtle definitely has papers. It's got from a reputable breeder.
From a reputable breeder.
Legendary bloodlines. Yes, legendary bloodlines.
It's so strange.
What's also cool is that, like, as soon as I get it, it's gonna be freaking retardedly small, just like super small, right? It's just a hatchling.
It's like palm sized, right? Am I wrong? It'll fit in your palm.
Oh, dude, easily. You could fit probably like 5 in your palm. It's gonna be just ridiculously dinky, but I'm going to handle it like every day, and if you do that, they actually grow up docile towards you. I'm going to eventually, once it's plenty big enough, I'm going to teach it to torture my enemies. But, until then, I'm going to be handling it all the time. It'll be docile towards me. And I'll be able to pet the little snapping.
Who are your enemies? Hold on. Who are your enemies that you're going to train it to fight?
Communists.
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 Can they smell communists? I don't know much about turtles in like any of their special senses.
Yeah.
But
Yes, they can. Well, as long as the communist is in the water, the turtle can pick up the scent and it'll snap them.
Right. Okay. So our YouTube audience is they're really all in on what your idea is. And they said the fucking turtle has fucking papers. It's a show turtle. Tack penis, probably.
Well, see, I'm also going to
There's something so
rent them out to
this.
ICE agents.
Okay.
So when they're on the border on the Rio Grande,
can you put a harness can you put a harness on Syrup that's like kind of like a German Shepherd might wear?
Yep, they can, and then they could tell, let's say, for example, here's the scenario, right? There's some guys that dumped their bales of drugs and they tried to rush back across the Rio Grande, right?
Right.
All they got to do is toss syrup in there. Syrup will zip on over.
He's super fast in the water, right? He's going to.
And then they could just tow syrup back. Syrup's not going to let go. They could just tow syrup back and then catch, catch the squirters.
So you've got him kind of like a human grappling hook, except he just bites into something and holds.
Yes, it's a snapping turtle grappler right there.
Right. How do you know? Do you know you're getting a male?
No. Don't. Honestly, I think you got to wait a while till you can.
Yeah. How do you sex a turtle? What does it take to sex a turtle? I'm not even.
It takes him like reaching maturity, and I think it's like in a couple years. Like I don't even freaking care. I don't care about the turtle's junk, but
your buddy Renzo is putting all kinds of really unsettling images in our locals chat, because you can put GIFs and stuff like that in small videos, and it's showing a guy getting his wart bitten off by a snapping turtle, which I guess is a thing you can do, and then also them biting like apples and targets, so they can be used like in a weaponized fashion, like you're talking about. I'm a little concerned about your, figuring out what kind of unit this guy is walking with, but. We'll figure that out.
Yeah, I don't have warts, but I'm going to definitely use. I'm going to feed it fruit and stuff.
Right. Communist shaped fruit.
Absolutely.
Right.
I'm going to cut apple slices into hammers and sickles.
Okay. So that's one way to do it. Hey, speaking of communists, have you heard that Attorney General Bondi is actually really interested in not talking about the Epstein files? So they have released a $50 million reward for Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro.
I heard that, and honestly, dude, you and I both know they know where the guy is.
Right.
They could just go freaking off him if they wanted to.
They could, but what they're hoping for is that some mercenary type guys. Do you think we should round up a gang of people? Like, could we get a KSS crew of operational capabilities and try to plan an amphibious? This didn't work out well for one of our Sunday guests, it turns out, who was a Green Beret. I think you have to be I think you got to be real cautious about going after current presidents in foreign nations.
Maybe.
Yeah, they could just JDAM him, couldn't they?
Yeah, easily, man. It's not even hard. They know where he's at. The satellites, they freaking know where he's at. The satellite capability is so utterly insane. Like, they can pick up even tiny, just minuscule traces of radioactive material. As long as they got the guy's position at any point in time, they never lost him.
Yeah.
So yes, they never lost him. They know exactly where he's at. They could send a freaking bunker buster right on top of him. They just simply don't do it.
Right. They could deploy a snapping turtle, some kind of a covert snapping turtle unit if they were really getting interesting.
But why would they do that to the poor snapping turtles? They feed them something good, not
snapping turtles want a job too. And you said you were training yours to attack communists. I'm just saying.
Yeah, communists are coming across the border. They got
border communists. I got it. As long as they stay in their own country, they're safe from your snapping turtles. Texas is actually like habitats for common snapping turtles. You have people that are protesting your plan of giving fruit to your snapping turtle. They are concerned.
Why? They're omnivores.
Their claim is that they're meat eaters. I don't know the answer to that.
They're omnivores.
Omnivores. I feel like you've done a lot of research into this. You actually know you got a reputable breeder.
Exactly. With papers.
The effing turtle has effing papers, people. Come on now. Good gosh.
Exactly.
That's right. It's a show turtle.
Legendary status.
You can't board him either. He gets upset.
I'm going to polish that sucker up with some turtle wax, take pictures of him.
Fantastic stuff. This is what I'm all about. I'm just here for the turtle facts, and possibly I want to expect some turtle puns. That's my homework for you. I don't always assign homework, but when I do, I want turtle puns. I don't know what those sound like.
I'd be happy to shell those out.
There it is. That was a good move. That was a low-hanging fruit. You're going to have to get more sophisticated. I am pretty confident, but that was a good start. It was an excellent first effort.
I can stand back with some good ones. I just got to give it some time.
Yeah, even the word back, I feel like you can find your way into that. Yeah.
All right, man.
All right, that's our time. I appreciate you calling in with Turtle Facts and allowing me to run a Big Lebowski clip. I gave you a little bit of bonus time because of that too. Always.
Cool. While I'm off the phone, when I'm off the phone, I want to hear some more about the FBI hating the fact that you dictate stuff. That's hilarious. I want more.
All right. Well, I'll leave it open as a topic that people can bring on. We'll open up the line for the next caller. Mr. Penis, always a pleasure.
All right. Take care, man. Bye.
All right, bud. All right. So that opens up the line there. When I say penis, I mean PNESS. This is really straightforward stuff. It's not nothing that's not family friendly. We're not talking about the biology. We're not talking about that. Turtle puns. You guys can start dropping those in the chat if you are so inclined, and you can help him out with his next round. If you guys want to talk more about FBI stuff, we could do that. I'm not opposed to it. I did have kind of a gleeful amusement catching a couple of phone calls of people telling me it was discomfort that I have caused. At the end of the day, my buddy Garrett O'Boyle hasn't had a job, or he's had a job and hasn't been paid for that job, and coming up on like 1,050 days. So I got no problem with people feeling a little bit of social media pressure. If that's the worst that happens, they're all getting paid. They're all eating. Kash Patel's still a millionaire. Dan Bongino's still a millionaire. They're still living their best life. And, my buddy Garrett had to go fly and bury a friend from the military out in Alaska this week. So, some people can have a little bit of discomfort. Our line is open. That means if you are a subscriber over on YouTube, if you're a subscriber, or I guess they call it channel member, if you're a channel member on YouTube, if you are a subscriber over on Locals, or if you are a subscriber on X, then you can come jump on the phone line. You're looking for the phone number for this month. It starts with the 972. And the way that we do it is I give you guys a new phone number every month. And now I'm putting them out in kind of like a meme format. You guys can just dial in. Talk about whatever it is that your heart desires. You got 10 minutes on the clock here, unless you're bored earlier than that. I don't mind if that's the case, if you just want to call in and say something. I thought we were going to be talking about money today, because that's what today's podcast was all about. If you guys recall, I didn't actually think that we were going to have like this FBI bombshell nonsense. I thought we were going to be talking about the money that could be wasted on being in college, and tactics and techniques that we can use to be more frugal, which is what I explained to my kids the other day, that we are both, I said, even though we are not poor, we always kind of think about things from that perspective, because I don't ever want to have to worry about money. I don't like worrying about money. It doesn't make me happy. So the only ways that I can do that is I am concerned constantly about making sure that our finances are in order so that I don't have to be worried. And I never worry about paying my bills. In any case, we had that poor gal who had the crying video. I'm going to refresh your guys' memory, which came from this Twitter thing. It totally derailed me to think that there are young people having these complete breakdowns in their vehicles, and they don't get it. That they can't figure out, like, where's my money, and how does debt work, and how did I sign up for all this kind of debt, and how is it that I'm still broke even though I've been paying into it. Let's see what we've got here. I think it might be, no, that's not it. That's something else from AI. We don't want an AI video. We want something from this little clip we played earlier today. A couple seconds. There she is. I found her. All right, so this will refresh you guys' memory.
So as it turns out, the student loans that I've been paying $1,500 a month for 2 years have a 17% interest rate. So what I thought I've been paying off for all this time, I'm actually, I owe more than what I started off with. What the fuck? So Jeff Bezos, this would be a really cool fucking time to Venmo me, bro. I owe $90,000 and I didn't even spend that much on school. Any rich person, please tap in. Kourtney Kardashian, you probably have 8 houses. I'm never gonna be able to buy one because I went to college. I just signed up to be an egg donor. Guess what? Got approved. Who wants my fucking kids? I can't afford them, so start a bidding more. Just fucking take them. What do you want? My left arm too? What the fuck am I supposed to do? I'm gonna be in debt for my whole fucking life. How does that even make sense? I signed up for this shit when I was 17. This should not be legal, bro. I got upset about it at work, and my coworker was like, don't you have like a rich relative who can pay that for you? No, my family's poor. Like, no. And the worst fucking part is, bro, look where I am. Like, I can't go in because I can't spend money, but I just want to like be here because it makes me feel better.
So that's the thing that kind of set me off this morning. Couple of weird things that, like we talked about this morning on the podcast. 17% interest rate means it's a private loan, which means you didn't qualify for the federal loans that are subsidized. I was in the same boat. It means that your parents make, quote unquote, too much money to be able to get one of those loans. I don't know how much money that was, but my parents made too much money. And then I had to figure out how to take out loans on my own. My loans were not nearly that bad. But yeah, 17% on a $90,000 loan. That's wild. All bad decisions. And at what point when you were like incurring this debt where you're like, hey, I don't think I'm going to make any money. If you were like me, I started off, I was like, I want to be an English major. Like I like reading and I like talking about literature. That sounds cool. And then I went, oh, I don't like being broke. That seems stupid. I'm not going to do that. I switched over to mechanical engineering, changed over to, you know, a totally different career field, and then ended up hating that too. But at the end of the day, at least I was like looking at what it was going to cost me, and my loans were not nearly that, nor was my interest rate. So kind of crazy. All right, caller number 3. Who are you? Where are you calling from? And what do you got to say? You want to talk about what we just spoke about or something else?
It's Renzo. I'm from the people
wait,
of New York.
what? What's up, Mr. Renzo?
What's up?
You're in the People's Republic. Where do you subscribe? Do you
I
subscribe on Locals?
subscribe on Locals, on Rumble,
Yeah.
and then I follow or subscribe or whatever you call it on YouTube.
Stalk
And
me.
on that, I stalk you everywhere.
Yeah, that's right. All right, I'm good with that. All right, what do you think, man? What do you want to talk about?
So, I was going to talk about something else, but you played that video again, and it's really impactful to me because my daughter is going into her senior year of high school.
Okay.
So she's doing the whole, I got to get into college, applications left and right to all these colleges. Let's go visit these colleges and, whatever. So, like, I'm like with you, like, I feel like college is not really beneficial for most aspects, but there are certain fields, if you're going into a field, it's obviously a requirement. You have to do the pro forma. I went to college and got a BA in this, like,
Yeah, no, I agree with that.
So if I'm a proponent of, if you have a profession and you know that this is a requirement that you have to do for your profession, and you fully understand, like, this is what I want to do, then I feel like you have to find a way to come up with $100,000 to pay the stupid college, and unless you can get scholarships. I keep telling my daughters to just like apply to like 1 million different scholarships because, a few thousand here. But it's so different than when I went to college, because I went to college in the 90s. And at that time there was, it was just, I guess, beginning where like people of my economic status would be able to go to college.
Yep.
Give us loans, and they, the whole student loan thing. But like everything with government, they go too far. So there's like a certain balance that needs to be maintained. And had they maintained a balance with that, I feel like colleges wouldn't cost what they cost now, because they feel like, hey, if you can get a loan for $100,000, your tuition's $100,000.
Right.
Like, it's just business.
That's right. No, I think that's
So,
true.
like,
I think
about that.
every time the government gets involved with things, everything gets more expensive that they're involved in. And there's almost no examples otherwise. They get involved in the housing market, it's more expensive. They get involved in healthcare, it's more expensive. And then everything else, the prices tend to go down on things, with the exception of vehicles right now. That seems to be really bad. But they did get involved in the supply chain by shutting down the country for a while, so that's not good. But, whether it's regulation or whether they're financially, incentivizing people, I think they just screw it up. It's never better.
I will have to say, though, that's why I'm kind of happy with Linda McMahon and like what she's doing with the Department of Education.
Mm-hmm.
And I feel like if they get rid of that and there'll be less federal like a direct federal agency that deals with all that stuff. Like they should, like all of the issues that relate to like universities should be divided up amongst the other different agencies that deal with the specific aspects of whatever it is. You know, the whole like the more we try to consolidate things, the more it makes things worse. That's the whole idea of communism. Consolidate everything to a small group of people that control everything.
Mm-hmm.
And so, like, I'm a proponent of, like, separating everything, you know, let the states deal with it. If your schools suck in your state and people say your schools suck in your state, then don't move to that state. That's your choice. Don't go there. You know?
I mean, it seems reasonable. You should probably not go there. That doesn't sound good. Yeah.
And also, like, that's one thing, because I feel like, you know, like Trump is kind of getting shortchanged now because he's done a lot of screwed up stuff and people are just focusing on the screwed up stuff.
Yes.
But I think with the education and all that, because I mean, that I'm very focused on that now, obviously, because my daughters are getting to the whole college and everything like that.
Sure.
So, I mean, I have to say I'm happy that I can kind of see that. I mean, it's not obviously the full, like, oh, everything is the way it's supposed to be, but it's moving in the right direction with the education. I think that's the most important thing, because the real problem we have now, in my opinion, is everyone who's born from 2000 is dumb because they've been...
Hold on, say that one more time. Hold on, brother. Say it one more time. Everybody who's been born since 2000
is dumb.
Is dumb. Got it. Okay. Just want to make sure I heard you correctly.
You know, like I won't say everybody. I'm okay. I will say most of the people. But it's not their fault. It's because they've been educated or indoctrinated instead of educated. So, you know, there's a whole a generation of kids that are like, yeah, you know, this trans thing kind of makes sense. Where, like, you know, any generation before that, born after 2000, looks and they're like, this obviously doesn't make any sense with it. But, you know, I'll go along with it because somehow it benefits me, you know, like, so, you know, I'll go along with the fantasy. Sometimes it's just easier to go along instead of have to, like, you know, explain to people, like, yeah, you know, you're, like, completely, like, dealing in a fantasy world right now. And you know, like, I feel like we're starting to get out of the fantasy world, so I have to give Trump credit for this.
Less fantasy world.
He totally screwed up the whole FBI shit.
Yeah, definitely screwed up the things that I was worried about. But yeah, I don't think he's a complete failure. I don't think I've ever indicated that. I'm kind of single-minded on focused on the FBI not kicking down my door and killing my family one day. So that seems really important to me. And I hope I hope they fix that. I really do, because it doesn't seem like they're on track for it. But yeah, there's clearly wins.
So do you think that this firing of these people is like happening at this specific moment, kind of like because all these people, when you look on social media, bring a bad connotation to, you know, the Bureau?
I think that they were fired, if my sourcing is correct, because Cash and Dan live online. And they spend a bunch of time thinking about what's online. And I spend my time online poking them in the eye. And we ran a thread that was pretty significant and got a lot of traction on Monday. And it's been going all week. And they made a move today. That's what I'm told. That apparently he was... So this is what I told Alex Jones. I got a phone call that stated I got a phone call that indicated Kash Patel was listening to either part of my podcast or was watching an interview where I called out what they were doing, because I went on on OAN night before last night, and had a conversation about this guy Chris Meyer, who's the pilot who used to be the case agent, and apparently Kash Patel was like MFing me in his office, listening to me call this stuff out. Then called in Driscoll. Driscoll refused to fire the guy, said you can't do it, and then he fired Driscoll too. That's what I heard. All of that's crazy. That's crazy, Renzo. Why in the hell does a guy who's living in a suburban house outside of Austin, Texas, who has a little podcast that a couple of people listen to, as cool as you guys are, we're not that big. I'm not moving millions of people. Like, none of you guys are going to go march on Washington and go demand anything. And apparently it's enough to like chap the ass of the FBI director, so they go out and make a firing. That's what I'm told. If that's true, and I don't have any reason to doubt it based on the source, because it seems pretty solid. That's ridiculous. We're living in a clown world. Absolute clown world.
Dan, think about this. Dan said it. The thing that is the worst thing for somebody in a government position is a soundbite or a snapshot that changes your opinion of them.
Oh, hold on. Wait a minute. What?
Mm-hmm.
Two more minutes. The soundboard just freaking died.
Oh man.
All right. Our audio just died, so stand by, folks. That was pretty cool. We just had a complete soundboard reboot. And so let me bring Renzo back into the line. That's crazy. Hold on.
It's weird that you say that, because my Rumble totally just rebooted like 30 seconds ago.
The soundboard just died. I tried to push a button for you. I was trying to give you the nugget. Apparently the nugget's not going to fire off right now. What's going on here? Yep. Yeah, the nugget's not going to happen. I had the big nugget all queued up for you, and it went away. That's a big nugget. It's a big nugget when the nugget won't fire off. What a wild little moment. All right. I'm sure that was totally coincidental. Had a complete reboot of our soundboard, but you're back. I'm back. All right. And I'm going to give you another 2 minutes on the clock since we lost it right there. Is that cool? Is that fair?
All right.
All right. We got 2 more minutes back on the clock. All right. That was pretty neat. Thanks, soundboard. Kind of disappointed. All right. So yeah, sound bites, like you said, sound bites and snapshots, right? That's the Dan Bongino line about it.
Exactly. And the soundbite of, or the snapshot of J6 Jensen and them, and J6 Jensen and them, and J6 Jensen and them.
What a dumb choice.
That Maria Bartirola interview destroyed them.
Right? Yeah.
And once that didn't go away, they were like, we have to do something about this. We need to make this go away. So how do we make this go away? Make him go away.
It's the only thing you can do. You'll be shocked to learn that I hold on to stuff like that, and I'm going to play it right now.
But you promoted Stephen.
No, why are things not working on the soundboard here? This is not cool. Are you hearing this? This is crazy. I'm having like a complete technical failure, and I didn't do anything about it, so I'm kind of excited about that, I guess. That's what I get.
I see it, but I'm also seeing it 5 seconds delayed.
Yeah, but what the actual hell is going on here? Let me see if I can try to get this. See if I can get this.
You got to check the Wi-Fi. Check the Wi-Fi.
Oh my God, brother, what the heck? All right, so let me see if I can figure out how to put this sound out. Here we go. I don't know what's going on.
But you promoted Stephen Jensen, the architect of the FBI's overzealous January 6th investigation.
Yep. No, it's not going to work. I'm not going to be able to play clips. So that's no fun. I may need to just reboot this whole board. We may have to just sit here for a second. Yeah, not only did Epstein not kill himself, apparently the soundboard didn't kill itself either, but that's what happens. So, what a freaking...
there it goes. It's so funny when you talk on the phone and you just, and I watch muted, and with the 5 second delay, I'm like, watching it all happen.
It's crazy. Anyway, so that's fun. I may just, we may take a moment break from the show so I can reboot this thing so it can actually start working, because I can't have that. We can't have that happen.
I I crashed it.
I'm not going to blame you. We'll just say it's interesting that we were talking about a very specific topic and then everything stopped working right then. So maybe it's just because I had the board on for a couple of days, or maybe it's something else. I'll give you final thoughts, and then we'll shut it down. And then I'm gonna do a reboot of the board. So we'll just sit still for a second.
All right, final thought. Maybe rolling idea. Like, what do you think about Tucker's whole concept that supernatural beings are running our government?
I have not heard that, and I don't have enough information to make an intelligent choice about what he's talking about.
Well, if other people have seen that, I'd like to know their thoughts on it.
All right, that's fair. Other people, you can throw it out to the community.
Like what came out when I heard Tucker saying. Yeah, that's my final thought.
All right, fair enough. I appreciate it. Thanks, buddy. Thanks for chatting with me. I'm going to do a little hard break here, and then we'll see if we can fix this. So, all right, we'll jump off the line here. Mr. Renzo, appreciate it.
All right, take it. All right, Matt.
Okay, so it sounds like you guys could actually hear it. I couldn't hear it, so let me just do an actual reset. I'm going to be silent for a second, and then I'm going to, maybe I'll just play a video. Hold on. I bet you I got a fun video clip. How about this video clip? I downloaded this earlier. If it works, great, and I'll do a real reset on the board. Hold off on the call-ins. Let's go to ripped video movie things, 4K downloader. How about we play? Maybe I didn't rip it. Maybe I did not rip it at all. Well, all right. You guys may have to be in silence for just a second. I have some really weird things that I've ripped, whatever it's worth. I don't know why I did that. Here, I'll give you the Waffle House training video. We'll use this as a sound test. Here we go.
Anybody who been to a Waffle House already know that they failing their health inspection. This ain't news. What you gonna tell me? Water is wet. Next, I know they failed their health inspection. I seen the chef at my Waffle House was scrambling the eggs with his fingers. He didn't even have no utensil. Threw the eggs on the grill himself and chopped it up with his hands. I was just wondering how he wasn't getting burnt. This man slid his hand under the eggs, threw it on the plate. I know it ain't healthy. You ever been in a Waffle House? The floor is always sliding. Not the kitchen floor. I'm talking about as soon as you walk in, it's slippery. It got a 1/4 inch of grease on it. I know it's dirty, and I'm still eating it because it's $4.70. Give me my All-Star Special and my hash browns Captain Covered. Waffle House have a dirty cup. You send it back, they'll bring you a dirtier cup. We know it's dirty. Mind your business, Atlanta Journal-Constitution. We know what it is. You want clean silverware, go to IHOP or Denny's. You want something for $5, go to Waffle House. That's why we come there. We know it. It's dirty. So, ain't nobody asked you to write no article. And they also give you the food as it comes. They don't never put all the stuff on a plate together. At one time, I said, man, just give me my bacon with my eggs on one plate. No, they brought me one slice of bacon on a napkin. Said, why y'all doing that? Well, we just had this one ready. Put it together. The tables are small. Y'all got 100 plates on the table. Waffle just got a plate on it. They don't never want to bring your food together. Why? One time they gave me half a waffle and gave somebody else on the other restaurant half a waffle. I said, why y'all did that? He said, you're both ordering waffles. We both thought you was a little bit hungry, so we're gonna give you half now and half later. Just bring me my whole waffle at the same time. One time.
All right, I don't even know where we were in that. I couldn't hear any of the audio. That's craziness. So we're going to have to reset all of that stuff, but we'll figure it out. We can still take calls, so we're going to take calls. That's what we're here to do. So let's do that. Phone line is open for those of you who are so inclined. And, you know, we've been doing this for about an hour, so we might do it for a little bit longer, see what we get coming in. I appreciate all the people that have called in to share their thoughts. Again, you can take Renzo's question, or you can dive into more stuff if you want to talk about something else. You can tell me about your snapping turtle from a reputable breeder, if you like. That's acceptable. As long as you tell me that it's a show snapping turtle and that it has effing papers. I need to make sure I hear that. All right, let's see if we can get a caller on the line here as well. Caller number 4, are you on the line? And if so, who are you, where are you, and where do you subscribe?
It's Owen from Delaware, and I'm on Rumble. No, sorry, local.
Outstanding. Owen, good evening. How are you doing tonight?
10 minutes or less. Let's go.
You're not even on the clock yet. We're about to get started here. You just take a deep breath there, my friend.
Okay. I need to.
All right, you're on the clock.
High strung as you.
Fire away.
All right. No. that lady with the student loan thing, I have some personal experience with this. So what they do is when they have, even if it's a federal student loan, they sucker you into doing things where you refinance and recombine them into a consolidation situation, and then they sell that off to somebody else. Kind of like when you sell off other debt. Mm-hmm. So if that happens, then the new loan handler might not be a federal person. It might be some Sally Mae. Yeah, Sally Mae or those kinds of people. Yep. And they ended up having us. My wife was going to college, so I was working, and she was able to put them on what they called forbearance. Deferment, not a forbearance. Yep. And the deferment means the interest rates are still accruing. So after those years, they said, oh, now you owe us $10,000 more than you borrowed in the first place. So there's a lot of predatory lending practices that when I was in a previous part of my life, stupid, I got into a household finance signature loan situation. And that's one of those things. They do the same thing. And those guys, they got in trouble for this stuff on a private commercial side, but the student loan guys can do the same kinds of activities. And because they're quasi-government things, they get away with it. And they're really shady. So I could see how she could get, if she's not really smart or agile in her thinking about these things and no advisories, that she's going to get potentially screwed. And I could see my daughter and my son having the same problem if I wasn't around to coach them on never take that, always send more, because they'll do this. And so I got it all squared away finally. But I can see that. I'm a little sympathetic to the fact that they also have such high interest rates, because when I did them, they were like 3%, 4%. I think when I first did it back in the late 80s, it was like 6%. Then they went down to 4%. Yeah. But the whole idea that the rates will change like that, that's another thing. It should be a fixed term. They need to really make it like a long-term loan, like a 30-year loan. What are you going to make it? They'll make it fixed. Don't have this variable interest rate. So nothing that screws you over, just like credit cards. So the whole thing there, I can see how at your most vulnerable point in your life, when you're stupid, naive, not vulnerable but you're pretty vulnerable as a kid, thinking you have to do these things. And they just take advantage of it, man. That was that kind of fuckery. So that's why I say if you're going to do this stuff, the angle to do is to play the same games as them. So you go out and get a bunch of credit cards and a bunch of signature loans, and you pay off the student loans with that, and then you file for bankruptcy, because now you can discharge credit cards and personal loans. And then you can get rid of that stuff.
That's interesting.
So somebody else gets screwed.
I've never heard of that strategy. Hey, listen, we're here to share strategy.
Corporate restructuring, right?
Yeah, your corporate restructuring.
Corporations, they're going to restructure our debt, quote unquote, which really means I'm going to find a guy I can really screw and screw him instead of you.
That's amazing. Okay, so I didn't know that was a possibility. That's kind of an interesting thought. So refinance using credit, and then credit that you can actually go and get rid of. Okay, fair enough. Interesting idea.
Yep.
I
hard
think
to do now, though.
Yeah, that being said, I think I've had private loans I had private loans when I did, because I didn't qualify for federal ones. They were like 7% interest, and my wife's interest rates were like 2.5 to 3. So I think what you're saying makes sense. Mm-hmm. Although the combining game, I remember the refinance option, but even those were actually fairly fair. So maybe she got screwed on that. Maybe she signed up for something dumb. All that tells me, though, is that she probably wasn't smart enough that she belonged in college. Just saying.
True, but that's where you go back to what you're saying, the basics. When I was a kid, they taught us like how to balance a checkbook, how to use a phone book, how to read a map. Yeah. But we've lost a lot of those kind of basics. So now the parents you're on the hook to figure it out.
That's it. We've had inflation of the number of years that you have to be in school for the same amount of materials. So you're going more years and getting less information. That's what I think I've argued.
I'm like the guy from Tommy Boy, though. You know, you go to college for 9 years, you should be a doctor. I'm not a doctor. But I did get my degree in the same field I got a job in, so it was a job training.
Well, and I think that's that sort of is the only way that it sort of justifies and makes sense. Like otherwise, like how do you even square that you're going to go spend this kind of money? And I also think we should have tech schools for a lot more things, like some of the business degrees that are very specific. You want to go be an accountant or something, or you want to do a finance? Why the hell do you have to go take Western Civ and a bunch of literature? Like, if you just want to go to 2 years of school, learn how to do this work, so be it. But we basically turned university into trade school, which is not what it's designed to do. That's not how the system is set up. It's supposed to, quote unquote, make you well-rounded and know things. But like most people don't need to know things, and most people don't actually care to know things either. If we're being honest.
Yeah, I wanted to go to school for always the practical things. First it was architecture, then it was mechanical engineering, then I ended up getting a nuclear engineering degree. So that's pretty much, you go right into that. There's such a job straight up, as long as they're making nuclear plants, which for a while there was dicey, but now they're back on the roll, so I'm good. Right. I've been doing that for a long time, so that's been back in the day. But my son did that. He wants to do video game design, and so that's what he does. He's been designing video games. Now, I don't know if he's going to get anybody to buy him or not, like that kind of thing. Right. But that's worth a shot, because I want my kids to be entrepreneurs they can be and not be wage slaves like me. I mean, it's a good job. I've had a good job for almost 30 years, but I don't think my kids, I'd like to have them be more where you are, where you have independence, because independence is your own power. You want to have your own power of your own life and not have to, somebody else in it. But
no, I don't disagree with you. I would have never chosen this for myself. I was a, innovation based on necessity. I didn't know this was a skill set that I would be able to develop, but I did. So, it is what it is. But yeah, it's an interesting thing to watch.
Plan B is better than Plan A.
Sometimes it is. And, but here's the other thing. I wouldn't have been as interesting or capable of doing this if I hadn't done all the things that I did before that. So we're all kind of a sum of our experiences. And whether it's 30 years working the same job or, 6 years at a time working weirdo jobs like I did.
Yeah.
That's how it works.
Oh, I do a bunch of that stuff too. Believe me. Yeah, life does that to you. But then you have to struggle a little bit. My problem now is because I did and my wife did, that we kind of give our kids more things.
I know how that works.
That's tough because it's very difficult.
Yeah, well, the struggle is what made you who you are. But
my neighbor's lawn, so I said, do it.
Nobody wants to see their kids struggle, but the struggle is actually really important, and they got to go do it. And so
it is. It is.
The hardest thing I find as a dad is watching my kids do stuff that I know I can do really quickly and having them help me, and then be impatient with them because I'm like, I just want to get this damn thing done, and I can do it in 90 seconds. But if I do it with my kids, it's going to take 12 minutes, which is going to feel like eternity. And yet I've got to make this job take 12 minutes. I have to, for their sake. That's hard.
Yeah. When my kids are your age, I always gave them bubble baths because at least they're sitting in warm, soapy water.
Just keeping them still for a little bit.
The job's partly done out, no matter what. What's that?
Yeah. I toss my kids back in the water, and I have this like really bad habit of I don't patiently let them get their heads. Like you get about 2 chances. It's like, hey, put some water on your head. Put some water on your head. Then dad does it for you. Like I ask, tell him, then I make. And it's not, and they all cry. And it's like,
here, put a washcloth over your face.
Yeah, I got no problem with a little bit of waterboarding at any age. Because you know what? If it doesn't kill you, you're fine. I do this thing with my son now in the pool. I like to throw him as far as I can. And usually he comes up like sputtering and spitting. He doesn't like it. And then after I do it, I just do it again because I don't care if he likes it or not. And he does like it. So
just make him close his mouth because if he's fused in the pool, they'll close it down nowadays. And they'll make him rechlorinate the pool and a bunch of crap. They catch him doing that.
Yeah, no, he's not going to throw up from it. I just, it just goes up his nose a little bit and he spits it back out. He's all right. I have no sympathy for stuff like that, though.
I've never done that.
And I'm way harder on my son on that than my daughter. I won't listen to my daughters cry about something in the pool, but I'll just toss my son. Like, I'll just throw him over my shoulder and just see what happens.
Boys are good. I'm glad you got both because otherwise it's a hard road. I feel for Garrett if it's got all girls.
Well, we ran a story here on the program a couple days ago that said for every daughter, there's a study that says that for every daughter that a man has, he puts 74 weeks longer on his lifespan. And so, Garrett's going to live forever.
He lives longer.
Yeah.
As a father of a daughter, I find that hard to believe considering how daughters, but that's okay. I'll take it.
The claim was that they sensitize us and they ground us and they lower blood pressure and put us in touch with things that otherwise men may not be in touch with. Maybe that's antiquated, but that's what it says.
Huh. I don't know. I guess so. She does have cats.
Ugh.
I pet the cats. It lowers their blood pressure.
Yeah. Have you thought about suppressed 22s? That's the answer to cats.
Not in this state, thanks, sadly, but I have 22s. But
yeah.
No, they're good because, like a dog, you got to work on. It's like a little kid. A cat will do its own thing, and I don't have to worry about it. They get hungry enough, they'll figure out a way to find something to eat. I don't have to. That's better. Dogs, on the other hand, are so dependent. They're needy.
Right.
I don't need more of that.
Well, and if the cat gets hungry enough, maybe you can find like a Haitian to eat them, and then you're good too. Do you remember that?
Yeah, right.
Do you remember that whole thing that people were talking about? The Haitians were eating people's pets.
Yeah.
That was like a couple of months ago.
I read up on that. It's actually a delicacy around either New Year's or Christmas. They would actually do that. So there's some basis in fact on that. So, I mean, yeah, they had some of those guys around here. They speak such weird pidgin French, I guess you'd call it.
Yeah.
That even the guys, and my EMS friend, they couldn't understand. Nobody could understand. They told the guy, you're done at the hospital. You got to leave now. And the guy he walked in the waiting room and sat down again.
Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
Like he got treated and now he's sitting in the care waiting room. I don't know.
He's just moving in.
That's funny. What was I thinking about this? No, my 320 not blowing up on my. Look, that's my 320.
Yeah, you had some people concerned that you had a firearm that was going to discharge on you. You got any thoughts about that to share with folks?
Okay, so I've had this gun for 5 years, and every morning I take it out of the safe, put it in my holster. Every night I take it out of the holster, put it in my safe. doesn't go bang, but I put it into a duty holster from Safariland. It doesn't have any weird protrusions that poke into where the thing is. I don't put my jacket on and then holster my gun afterwards.
Right.
You know, there's a lot of basic handling things. But I go back to the idea, if you ever shot any kind of competition guns that are really fine hair triggers, you learn the trigger discipline, also muzzle discipline.
Yeah.
So I think people are treating them like it's a old squishy trigger Glock where you have a little bit of play, you can kind of squish it. And I remember when revolvers first came out. When Glocks first came out and Cal went from revolvers to Glocks. Revolvers are really long double action. There's all kinds of goofing around you can do. All the old cowboy guys and all the old police guys had their finger on the trigger. Glocks came along, couldn't do that. Some Glocks people do it too much. Then they got used to the Glock trigger. Now they got the SIG, which is even lighter trigger. So it's like 4.5, 5 pounds. And so that's going to be there unless you're good at trigger discipline and you're really good at, protecting that. I think competition guys holster their competition gun and go bang. So, I mean, it's like a 1911 do that, okay? Because they had the trigger guard, so no, I'm not worried about that. As long as you have proper gun handling, that's what you need to have. I mean, if you're really that concerned, then carry with Israeli and then draw and rack. But I want that muscle memory, but draw and rack. I've seen guys draw and rack out live rounds every time because they got that Israeli memory. It's like rack.
Yeah, no, for sure.
That's the key is practice and the old rules, right?
No, I tend to agree with you. I think that makes about sense. All right. Well, they will dispel the rumors that you've been dispatched by your own P320, and people can call and talk about that if they like to. It sounds like
fine.
Yeah, I've got 2 of them, and they never go. I don't leave them loaded in the safe though either. So there's that.
Mine are always grab and go, just like what they call that, the sandwich stop or whatever.
Yeah, that checks. I'm actually going to start carrying my staccato more frequently, I think, because I like it. It looks cool as hell.
Yeah, that's like carrying around a big expensive Rolex, though, man. Those things are some bucks. I shot a few of those my buddy had. They're like $5K, $7K. I mean, this guy's a gunsmith, and he's got his own gun shop, so he's got this, don't ever shoot one because then you're going to be like, oh, I got to have one.
That's the worst thing you can do is shoot a really nice gun and then realize that you want one. I agree with you. It costs you a lot of money to shoot really nice guns, even for free.
That's how I went from SIG. My wife bought a SIG 226, and I bought a Glock. And I shot her 226, and I'm like, I'm getting rid of this Glock.
That's how it goes, man. Yeah, whenever you shoot something nice.
I shot the staccato, too, and now I'm like,
you're thinking about it.
SIG.
You're thinking about it.
So much money.
Yeah.
I'm like you. If I can't pay cash for it, I'm not going to buy it.
No, that's the only way to do it, for sure. I agree with that. Which goes back to our previous topic, so there you go. Well done on that. Tie them all in.
Okay.
All right, brother.
But I got to cut it off here because I could talk to you for an hour and a half again.
I know, and I would enjoy it as well. I'm trying to see if we can vary the critical path here and allow a couple people in. I've seen about eight different people try to buzz in on your time clock. So there you go. But we're and now my audible discipline noise has gone away. I'm really disappointed with this. Whatever happened with our sound system, because it makes me kind of go like, are we kidding here? Didn't we'll just say it wasn't the FBI that jacked up my big nugget button. I really wanted to drop some big nuggets on people, but so be it. In any case, I appreciate the call.
They made that virus to attack the Iranian centrifuges. So I'm not saying they did this. But
I'm not saying they couldn't.
Can do some pretty crazy stuff.
That's right. They could. All right, bud.
All right. I'll let you go.
All right. Have a great night.
Take care.
All right. See you. All right. We got another caller on the line. Who are you? Where are you calling from? Where do you subscribe?
Kyle?
Who it is? Is this Garrett O'Doyle?
GOB actual in the house.
What's going on, buddy? I'm gonna put 10 minutes.
Up?
What state are you in right now?
Alaska still.
Oh yeah. Did you guys not?
Day.
Weren't you supposed to be leaving today or tomorrow?
Tonight we leave. We do a red eye tonight.
Okay. You want to give people an update on how the trip went?
Yeah, it's been great, man. It's been really good. It's been weird because it's been kind of like phases. So we got here late Thursday night last week, and my buddy's widow met us at the airport, which we didn't know was going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
But that was really cool to see her. And then the next day was Army guys arriving and, picking them up and taking them to the Airbnb and spending time with Chloe and her family and having our kids meet their kids. And then the next day was the funeral, which they were lovingly calling a memorial ceremony instead, which I kind of liked.
Yes.
And I got to speak at that a little bit, which was great. For those who don't know, my buddy Cody, he was I think hands down my best friend when I was in the Army. And then at the end of that, they had flowers to throw in, and I was able to grab a blue flower, which for those who don't know, light blue is the color of the infantry, and I was able to put that in on top of his urn, and then spend some more time with the family and the guys that came. And then the next day we drove down to Denali National Park with the last two, or actually, I guess it was 2 days later. We spent like a day in Fairbanks then, because we went and did some shooting in honor of Cody. Mm-hmm. And the girls, my girls, they were able to shoot their gun for the first time in their life. They had just a little 22, a little Savage arms, like one shotter, bolt action.
Nice.
Which was pretty cool to kind of get them out there, especially with Cody's kids. They're all around the same age. But then that night we went out to dinner at a place that Heidi and I went up to before we got married. She came up here and visited when I was still up here. And so we went to a restaurant called the Silver Gulch, which they claim is America's northernmost brewery as well. So we went there with a couple of the guys, and then stayed in Fairbanks one more night, and then headed down to Denali with the last two Army dudes, went on some hikes, explored the park, and then stayed in the Denali area one night, and then down to Anchorage for 2 nights and did some more stuff down there. But it's been great, man. It's been really great.
Yeah, are you feeling refreshed? How do you feel about this week and the FBI stuff that's been you've been kind of able to disconnect for a little bit. You're looking at your situation. How's it feeling?
Yeah, so on my way out here, I know you know this, but maybe some of your listeners don't. So last week, Tuesday and Wednesday, I spent in the swamp for this National Whistleblower Day stuff.
Yep.
And allegedly, we were supposed to ink a deal that was going to give me my back pay and then my quote-unquote voluntary resignation, and then just send me on my way.
Yep.
That didn't happen. But it was still good because I got to see Steve and Marcus, and Sonia Labasco was there, which I didn't know she was going to be there, but she was at the dinner.
Oh, that's cool. Sonia's the best.
Yeah. Dude, she is. She's great, man. She's like the mother hen for the Suspendables, and I love it.
Mm-hmm.
But so I got to see her and those guys, which was good. And then, but I knew it was going to be busy. Okay, I left late Wednesday night, and then with one of the guys who got reinstated, which he's still not been back to work. So it's like, are you guys going to come good on your deal or not? But him and his wife, they took me to the airport late Wednesday night. I flew back to Milwaukee, and then early Thursday, we drove out to Minneapolis for a direct flight to Fairbanks. So it's been a whirlwind for sure, but it's been great. And definitely got to recharge the batteries. I put the phone down and away for the vast majority of this. And then of course, oddly enough, or as you know, I would say, God's sovereignty has intervened again, and now all this FBI stuff is starting to pop off again on my last day here. So it'll be interesting to see what comes in the next week or two.
Yeah, for sure, man. I've been sitting in this chair since 7 a.m. this morning. So, but you sound refreshed, you sound recharged, which is always nice to hear. We all need that. It's nice hearing your voice recharged, because I've been hearing you get run down a little bit, and I know it's an easy thing to do.
Yeah, man, for sure. And I'm sure you and Steve and, those few of the Suspendables that are in touch the most, you guys probably pick up on it the most. And I certainly have been just run down and just over everything. And being able to get back up here, it's been 15 years, and I didn't think I'd ever come back. And certainly the reason to be back here is a sobering one, but in a weird way, I'm grateful for Cody, and I'm grateful that he gave us this experience, even in his death. Maybe to some people that might sound morbid, but to me, it's I have sincere gratitude that even though the initial reason was for something so horrible as a young man, 39 years old, dying, but it was able to bring peace and joy and God's majesty of the creation, and just everything we've gotten to see, from Mount McKinley to the trails and the rivers and the lakes and my old Army buddies. It has really been a blessing, and it's odd that God works that way sometimes, but it has been an honor to be here and to be a part of his ceremony, and to be able to bring my family here. And I truly hope that especially the older girls remember it.
Because they've never seen it. So just for background for people who don't understand, you were stationed up there in Anchorage. What years?
I was up in Fairbanks at Fort Wainwright, but I was here 2007, late or early 2007 through late 07 to early 2010.
Okay.
Heidi got to come up here one time.
Yep.
Obviously, we were young. We were in our early 20s back then. And she came up for just a few days for Thanksgiving, and we just stayed in the Fairbanks area. I got to go down to Anchorage, and we went to this pizza place in Anchorage last night called Moose's Tooth. And which is an awesome place. If anybody ever gets to come up here, highly recommend it. But as we were leaving last night, I was like, when I first came here, because the unit in Anchorage, when I first got up here, they were deployed to Iraq. And so my unit, they came down to Anchorage to train because they knew they would get dedicated range time without having to fight other platoons or companies or battalions for range time up at Fairbanks because it's so small.
Okay.
So we came down here for 2 weeks, and we got some serious training in. I mean, it was a minimum 12-hour days, but then we had one weekend in the middle, and I think we only took the Saturday off. And so that first Friday night, we went into Anchorage, we went to Moose's Tooth. And this was right around the time I met Cody. I had not met him yet earlier that week. It was like the first time I met him. And, of course, back then I didn't know what our friendship would be or how it would flourish. And then that led into my platoon time in the recon platoon for our battalion, which we ended up deploying for a year. And then the last thing I did before I left Alaska, I think it was like 2 days before I left, I stood up in their wedding. And then I left, and I PCS'd to Fort Campbell, Kentucky, went to Afghanistan from there, and then Cody and Chloe, they stood up in our wedding a year later, or roughly a year later, and that was the last time we saw them, know, and as those, like, with little kids, life kind of takes its ups and downs and its turns and bends, and it's always like, oh, yeah, someday we'll come up there, or someday we'll come down by you guys, and that never happened. And, I never got to see him again. But it was good to see his wife, meet his kids, to see Chloe's family, because Cody and I were so close that I was over there all the time. And, that's where Heidi and I spent Thanksgiving when she came up. And so, we know these people in a unique, special way, even after all these years with just intermittent contact.
Yep.
To be able to come back and physically embrace them and break bread and have the service, and his dad was here, who I met at the wedding, and his stepmom was here, who I met at the wedding as well. And so it's been a very unique and special time, but in a weird way, just so grateful for it.
That is a weird way. But again, just hearing you recharged, because I can hear it, because I've been talking to you for the last couple months and just hearing the decline, which is that, this stuff wears on you. Today, Alex Jones said something to me today, and I don't think you probably heard this because you're out doing real life. Alex goes, were you at all worried, when you broke this story and you put this stuff out, were you worried? And I was like, no, I wasn't until you brought it up, man. And he was like, you know how dangerous this stuff is, right? And I'm like, I didn't think it was dangerous until you just mentioned it. Now I'm a little bit concerned. But this stuff, when you're in the middle of it and you're just, pushing, and it's like, should I post this guy's name and expose the thing that's going on because we know it's true? Yes. Are there potentially consequences for that? I guess there might be. It didn't really occur to me to think about them. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I was just like, I went, shit.
Yeah, because in the moment you're like, well, this is the truth, so I'm going to tell the truth.
That's right.
And you don't ever think you don't think the truth is going to blow back on you. Even through what we've all been through, you think, well, this is the truth, so I'm just going to speak the truth. And even with the blowback we've received now for over 3 years, or roughly 3 years for all of us, I guess, collectively, it's about the average is 3 years. And we think, well, it's the truth. So what are they going to do to me now? I say, well, they can always come up with something. And hey, man, for your part, that blowback might be you becoming the FBI director, which I would applaud.
That's not going to happen. That's not real. That's silly.
No, it's not.
Yeah, nobody wants that. Not at least of all me. But yeah, we're coming out, like October will be 4 years of my sort of insanity, and you and I, you know, getting acquainted with each other through all this nonsense. So anyway, it's been an interesting journey. I'm glad you've got a time to refresh. I felt like connecting up in Montana and going up to Alaska, I imagine it's the same effect. It's just like, it's reinvigorating. It's just touching something with less people and spending more time, you know, recharging the battery, being in creation instead of worrying about all this nonsense. Because it feels like it's a long ways away when you're that far away.
Yes, for sure. And like, for me, when we were on the plane, I had internet access to my phone, so I was still, you know, on Twitter or whatever else, and I was like, all right, when we land, like, I know it's going to change, I know it's going to be different, and it was, you know, and I kind of forgot, I kind of forgot the pace of things, especially in Fairbanks, way slower, and then, you know, just dealing with the Army guys, the family, the service, the driving, I was just able to put it away and just take in the vastness of it, like, which, especially this drive from Fairbanks to Anchorage, and then with Denali, like, kind of right in the middle, the expanse of it, it's like, oh yeah, man, God's in control of all of this. He commanded those mountains to be there, and there they are.
Mm-hmm.
And all of this, whatever it is in anybody's life, not just us, not just whistleblowers or suspendables or government or whatever, but in everybody's life, he's got it all in the palm of his hand. And for me, it was such a great reminder where it's like, dude, it's all good. No matter what happens, it's all good.
Well, it's good to hear. It's good to hear you say that, and I'm glad you're doing that. What I would pray for your safe travel. And are you going to be landing sometime tomorrow morning kind of deal? You're coming back, and you'll be back in Wisconsin.
Yeah. So we land a little bit after 6 a.m. in Minneapolis, so 6 a.m. Central Time, and then we got about a 5-hour drive back home. But thus far, everything has gone great. You know, all of the travel has been great. Nothing has been delayed. Nothing. There's been no hiccups for us along the way at all. No injuries, no sickness, you know. And so, yeah, man, it's been good, and I'm confident the rest of it will be well as well.
All right. Well, I'm just going to give you a sobering reminder that even if your flight is delayed and it takes you longer, you're still not going to be late for work because you're still suspended. So you got that going.
That's right. Yep. I've got no worries. I have nowhere to be.
That's right. Wherever you are is right where you're supposed to be, my friend.
Yeah, amen.
All right. Well, you guys drive safe, travel safe. Look forward to talking to you when you land on the other side, and you know, get your head right, because it's getting bumpy here. Apparently, we're causing problems again, so we're back to the fun.
I see it. I love it, and it's like, of course, you know, maybe if these people would have just listened in the first place and been people of their word, they could have avoided this embarrassment that they are now seeing.
That's correct, but hey. It is what it is. I'm not going to cry about it. Like you said, the plan is the plan. We don't get to decide it. That's God's plan. So we'll just live it.
That's right.
All right, homie.
All right, man. Well, thanks for letting me grab a few minutes. I appreciate it. Good to hear you. Good to talk to you.
Same. I'll talk to you when you land.
All right, man. See ya.
All right. Have a good night.
You too. Bye.
Okay, ladies and gentlemen, I think I'm going to call it right there. I don't think we can do better than that. But should I just give you like the Alex Jones send off on Garrett O'Boyle being on the line there? It sounds something like, and that was Garrett O'Boyle, famous FBI whistleblower, one of the most important whistleblowers that anyone's ever heard, proven right constantly, time after time, exposed corruption like very few people have ever done, maybe nobody's ever done in FBI history, and a big guy, Garrett O'Boyle. Really grateful that he showed up on a show. I love some Alex Jones, guys. There's nothing more fun than hanging out on that program. And every time they ask me to stay on late, I'm like, yeah, of course I'll stay on late. We'll just cut it up. It's the most intellectually engaged interview that I ever do, because Alex will say all these wild things. Then I have to go through and like, what do I agree with? How much of that can I actually substantiate? Like, is there any evidence of that? Or is that just Alex Jones saying Alex Jones stuff that I can't substantiate? We have a lot of fun with it. So anyway, thanks for those of you who watched on InfoWars. Thanks for those of you who've been part of this. I think I have something that'll send us off. If the audio works, you guys will give me thumbs up in the chat if you can hear it.
Here now.
Nope, that's not what I wanted to play you. There's a different one. Here it is.
What? You can't park your car here, ma'am.
Are you blind?
I don't think you can park there.
I know I can't park there.
Oh.
Hey, you can't park here.
Fuck you, motherfucker.
Excuse me, mate. You can't park there, sir.
I know I can't park there.
Hey, watch out! It's just gonna blow. Watch out!
Ma'am, you can't park your car here.
Are you serious?
You can't park that there, mate.
Fuck off.
Excuse me, you can park here.
Yeah, you guys can't park here.
No shit, really?
You can't park there.
That's what I said.
Hey, you can't park there. Appreciate you, brother. You can't park there.
You guys, you can't park there. But you still can't park. You can't park there. You can't park there. No. It's a park. You can't park there.
You can't park there, sir.
I know I can't park here.
What?
All right, that's all we got for tonight. I hope you guys have a great night. God bless you. See you again in the morning.
Thanks for listening to The Kyle Seraphin Show, streamed live weekdays on rumble.com/Kyle Seraphin. Follow Kyle on Twitter, Truth Social, and Instagram at Kyle Seraphin.